We have no links. We have a very clear record that we've been willing to talk about, which my husband has said. He took some rides on the airplane for his charitable work. I don't recall ever meeting him.
Did you ever meet Ghislaine Maxwell?
I did on a few occasions, and thousands of people go to the Clinton Global Initiative. So it to me is not something that is really at the heart of what this matter is about.
Yes, not that she's politicizing it or anything like that. Tonight's red hot video, Hillary Diane Rodham Clinton pulling a page out of the Democrats' old Soviet-style playbook, denying any and all ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Hillary Clinton sat down with the BBC, the British Broadcasting Corporation, strategically airing just 1 week ahead of her scheduled testimony in front of the House Oversight Committee in Washington, D.C. on the subject of Jeffrey Epstein. Isn't that amazing? Will the Clintons stick to this silly, ridiculous story that nobody's buying next week in front of Congress while under oath? Or will they finally fess up? And Mercy, what do you think? Again, they left out a lot, and it's the BBC. I don't expect them to do a good job. They're like PBS,
right.
You know, they're like taxpayer cheats, fake media, and all that. But Jeffrey Epstein visited the Bill Clinton White House while Bill Clinton and Hillary were living there 17 times. 17 times. Right. I haven't had a family member over to my house 17 times over an 8-year period. But and flying, oh sure, he flew on the jet. It was all charitable because Bill Clinton, he gives and he gives.
Oh.
And the younger, the more he gives.
He gives and he takes.
Younger you are, the more he gives.
Well, I mean, and when she says, oh, it was so limited. I mean, you're talking about 16 times that Bill Clinton was on Jeffrey Epstein's plane with underage females. I mean, this is obviously for the Clintons.
Oh, look, he's giving her.
They can't even try to defend this. I don't see how they get out of this. In fact, you're seeing the Democrats, they are trying to move away from the Clintons. The Clintons are in trouble. And look, this is not the first time. We know that they're sketchy when it comes to their Clinton Global Foundation. We know with Hillary Clinton, it's never something that's just a clean, the way she manages, not a clean way to do it. So I think they're playing defense. I think they know they're in trouble, but they're going to try to make it to the more she says, oh, no, limited. It was limited. The more people, as you dig in, there's a lot more questions than we have answers.
They're not known for being the most truthful people in the world, and Bill Clinton's proclivities, I think, are well known, have been very well established over time. But again, 17 visits to the White House and 16
times.
Flights on the Lolita One, on the airplane, and knowing Bill Clinton's proclivities, and Hillary Clinton, for that matter, not exactly the ideal marriage that we should all model our marriages after.
Well, I thought it was really interesting later on in the interview where she says, I believe in fairness, and I think everyone, the queen of fairness, I think everyone should be treated equally here, and then went on to talk about how the president is engaging in a cover-up when there's a picture of Trump and Epstein somewhere, and all of a sudden there's criminal conduct involved here. Right. But when you talk about the deep-rooted financial ties that you were alluding to, Jeffrey Epstein providing seed money to the Clinton Global Initiative, and then the Clintons funding Ghislaine Maxwell's nonprofit. I mean, these are deep financial ties. They've taken, flight logs shows they've taken trips, obviously, internationally. So, there's such a huge element of hypocrisy here, which I think is very obvious. And like you said, there's really nothing she can do to defend it anymore. And I think it's about time there's some accountability for the Clintons. They've hurt this country tremendously here. And the American people deserve some transparency and accountability for all of the harm that they've had to endure under the Clintons.
And of course, Jason, the Democrats on Capitol Hill got documents from the Justice Department and immediately released a photo of Donald Trump from decades ago, of Donald Trump with 6 young women flanking him. And they say, oh, see, this is in the Epstein file. And it's automatically incriminating because the Democrats say so when they're lying. And the reality is all 6 women came forward and said, first of all, I was 25 years old at the time. You'll see we're wearing Hawaiian leis. We're at a big black tie dinner. And we said, hey, Donald Trump, he wasn't president. Can we have a picture with you? And they had a picture taken with him. And they said he was nice and appropriate. And all he did with Jeffrey Epstein is kick him out of Mar-a-Lago.
So it's really interesting because, we're talking about Bill Clinton. And, I've never been the hugest fan of Bill Clinton. And I honestly, I was expecting there to be something in these files that implicated him in some way, or at least an allegation. And there was none of that. As a matter of fact, Jeffrey Epstein said he was never on the island. That's a complete lie. And as a matter of fact, Donald Trump is accused of wrongdoing. Steve Bannon had a relationship long after Epstein was accused and actually convicted of a crime.
So
Howard Lutnick lied about his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein later on. And so I'm not sure why we're focusing on the Clintons. And as a matter of fact, Donald Trump has been really soft, and I think they should. And and Donald Trump has really softened his opinions of the Clintons, saying that he thinks Bill Clinton is his friend and all of that. So I'm wondering what it is the Clintons know. I think they should testify publicly so we all can hear what they say. And they also had a picture there, first of all, of him swimming, which doesn't say anything to me. But the other thing is him and, next to Diana Ross and next to Michael Jackson and their children with their faces blacked out, who turns out they were Michael Jackson's children. So again, all of these things without context are ridiculous. Let's hear what they have to say and let us see it publicly.
Like that, I'd like that, but they refuse to do that, and they've
that's not true.
So
Bill Clinton
then they flip-flopped.
Bill Clinton asked for it.
He insisted that it not be, and then they flip-flopped.
I want to do this publicly.
After their lawyers told him to do the opposite, then they did the opposite. But that's not like because it's kosher. They
want to do it.
On that.
Let them do it.
Yeah, sure. All in favor of that. And while waterboarding, I think that would make it more interesting, too.
Well,
Then maybe
look,
some
I
truth
think,
would come.
Pam Bondi, they've released all the documents of the Epstein files. This is something that you've seen both the Democrats and Republicans. They want answers. They want accountability. And obviously, the Clintons, as usual, they're in the middle of the scandal.
I do just want to say, hopefully, definitely on behalf of myself, hopefully on behalf of all of us, we're talking about the Clintons. They have an alleged body count, and however you want to define that. I'm not feeling suicidal. I love my life. I'm feeling happy. I look forward to us continuing to talk about the Clintons and their wrongdoings. I will say they're such slimy people that, Chris, I agree with you that I think there must be something else that she's doing. She's not just deciding to go on BBC out of the gentleness of her spirit. And I think if you look at the numbers, Jeffrey Epstein went to the White House like double the amount of times that Monica Lewinsky did.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.